So good morning, guys. We know the 2020 Toyota Tundra. This is the 1794 edition. Great truck, love it. At least one major flaw for me, and how it does not come standard. And of course, that is the tailgate lock. Okay, so this is not an install video per se. This is kind of an overview of the Tundra Power Tailgate Lock Kit. Okay, this is the OEM kit, which I'm going to go through today, but I'm just going to kind of share my ideas and thoughts on it, a little bit of the installation, and more importantly, I know I haven't seen anything yet where it goes over the tools of what's needed. So first of all, this is the box you get in. I ordered this from Amazon. All right, I have not even gone through this yet, but let me just look here. Total of $151.31 is what it comes in at. So they do give you instructions, okay, and then some things that you're going to need. Okay, just to really show you quickly here, this is the kit. All right, they do give you some black zip ties. Okay, they do give you a whole bunch of those. I do have some extras, and here is the, what they call the actuator, and here is the wire protector. So let me lay out here really quick. This is everything that they give you. Okay, you can see here they're numbered 5, 6, 7, S, and 8. Okay, and then just some of the things you're going to need before you get started. Just to make sure, you're going to need a pair of cutters, or as I call them, dikes. If these help you out, the interior removal tools, you can do that. You're going to need a 3/8 inch socket. I've also got a 3/8 inch here, and a smaller one, and even a ratchet, just see if I need it. And you're also going to need a Torx. I've just got a little kit here. You're going to need a T30. I only had a T20 on hand, so I've got one of these little kits. All right, that's got the Torx in it, and you're going to need that as well, and just some other tools. So, because that's a quick overview again of what you get. And of course, you know, the major complaint, especially with a truck at this price point, is that you can't lock the tailgate. It is such a pain to take out this key. And if you have a tonneau cover, or you have a cover on the truck, well, of course, then the whole point is you want to be able to lock it. So that's kind of my goal with it, and to see how install goes. Again, I've watched some installation videos, but I just want to show you again what actually comes with the kit. Again, which is right here, it does come with instructions. Okay, obviously, I would always say read through them if you need. There is the part number. Again, I got this from Amazon. I haven't posted anywhere else here. I put the tape over it. So again, came directly from Toyota. And again, I got this off Amazon. I asked a bunch of questions, again, just to make sure it works, especially for my particular model, which is the 2020 Crewmax. So I'm gonna see how install goes. It's a nice sunny day. I'm gonna take my time, give myself a few hours to go ahead and get this done. But again, just some of the tools I know that you're going to need. And the tough thing for me, of course, I got a gravel driveway, so I'm gonna need some mats to lay down when I run this harness along, and we'll see how it goes. So I'll check back in a little bit, and we'll see how the install goes. So this is the rear tailgate panel removed. This is where the actuator is obviously going to go. This requires the Torx T30. You're gonna have 8 screws that you're gonna come off. Just lift up the panel. This helped just a little bit, this little tool. I labeled everything, and this is where I'm at now. But obviously that is where the actuator is going to go. So just wanna update where I am at this point. Next, you're going to remove this. This is a 10 millimeter. So I found an extension here to be easier. You're just going to take this nut out, save the nut. Okay. So I found that easy, and I'm just putting everything in order as I take it out. Those are the 8 screws for the tailgate. And then there is the 10 millimeter nut, which I removed. So next, you're going to locate the wiring harness. This is where you're going to use a pen other than black, and you're going to mark. I'm going to mark here because you want to know exactly where the wire harness is coming out, and I'm going to mark it here. I'm trying to hold the phone. Okay, so there are my 2 places. So I've marked it 1, and I've marked it 2. Okay, and that's going to show, obviously that's the camera wire harness, just so you know, that's the cable there. And we're now going to go ahead and remove those two wire protector bezels, which are here and here. And we're going to do that by pushing in these clips. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that next. So guys, what I find the easiest is I do have one of these little pry tools. You're going to put this in here and you're going to push this tab in. So it's hard to do while I'm holding the phone, but anyway, you're just going to push this tab in, and when you push this tab in here, okay, you're just going to take your little tool, and these do come right out. I'll try to do this with one hand, see if I'm successful. I apologize. Yeah, not easy with one hand, but I think you get the gist. So I'm going to go ahead and do this because I do need my two hands to go ahead and do this. But anyway, you're going to take both of these pieces out. I'm going to hold on to them. It says you can discard them. I'm going to hold on to them, put them into a bag. But again, you're going to remove 1 and 2. And this tool does help. Again, you just push on the clip and then they're going to go ahead and come right out. And we're going to head and remove those. So I wanted to share, this one was a pain, and the reason, first of all, I did use these two tools is because you have this lift. This is a factory, I'm sorry, no, not, this is from the tailgate piece. So if you do have this piece on here like I do, it was definitely a little bit more of a pain to get out in terms of the clip wise, but this is what it looks like when it comes out. And then there's a secondary clip you'll see here that you undo to take them apart. So there's 2 of these clips. Again, I'm going to hold on to them just because I always do. But if you have this weather stripping like I do here, I added this just to keep the water out because I've got a WeatherTech tailgate cover that goes over this. But that did make this definitely a little bit more of a pain. But again, you can see the markings now, and that's going to be important to make sure that this doesn't get kinked when it closes. But that's what the clips look like there, and that's when they are, of course, are out. So next up is going to be the number 6 in the package, which is the tailgate wire harness. Okay, this is what it looks like, and this is going to be designated by the female, which is red, and the male. Okay, so the female helps you understand that's the red portion here, and they do give you some of these strips as well. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and route this through the tailgate and come back out here. So this is the cable that we're going to do next. This is step number 4. All right, so to run the wire, just to be clear, the female is going to come in here. This is the red. It goes underneath. It goes through here. It took a little bit of finagling to grab it. It's better to start, feed the female through here, come underneath, and eventually I was able to grab it. You're gonna run it. Here is the male side, and then the male side is going to go through here. So take the male. This is the hull of the tailgate bed. All right, that feeds through. So there's the male. Again, comes in, we're back into the hole here. You can see my gold pen, okay? It comes through here again, and then eventually here is the female. So that's how this wire runs through here. So guys, next up, and a little bit important, is we're now gonna use these 2 wire protector bezels. You can see here, these have slots for 2 cables. As opposed to 1. But here's the key part. When this cable's coming out, you have to locate 1, hopefully you can see I'm pointing to, and 2. These are the 2 spots where the bezels are going to go. You can see the tape runs here, and the tape runs here and here. These bezels are going to go where there's no tape. Okay, so that's important. And then once this cable goes in place, this cable is going to go on top of the camera wire harness. Apologize, I got the wind blowing out here today. And that's where it's gonna go. But again, these protector clips are gonna go over these areas here and here that are not taped. I hope that's showing up in the camera, okay? And then of course, we're gonna secure them with the new tabs. And you can see, of course, the new ones are made for 2 wires, and this new wire that we're adding is gonna go on top of the other one that is here for the camera. So that's how those are gonna get located. So to show you, finally, I got these tabs in. Again, I had a little bit more of a difficult time because this rubber piece, but again, you'll see now the gold mark. I hope that goes on the bottom Okay, and over here, I hope you can see the gold mark that also goes on the bottom. So again, this is for the camera. The camera one goes on the bottom hole, and the tailgate wire harness goes into the top hole. And you can see the cable that is left out here is completely taped. Okay, so I got both tabs in, they're secure here and here. So that is the step there to complete getting these two tabs in. Again, I am going to keep the old ones just in case. So the last part here quickly is you're gonna take one of these black ties, you're gonna tie it around, you're gonna cut it off, and then you're gonna put, as the instructions say, is take where you cut it and rotate it to the bottom. So this is what it looks like now that it's secure. You can see the black tie right here. And again, the piece that I cut off the excess. This is where your cutters or your dikes are gonna come in. That's where you're gonna use those. Okay, and again, it rotates, and that's what the final piece here should look like, and now it is secure. And again, make sure this is the one on top, and the one with the gold, again, you can see is on the bottom, and that way those wires won't kink when you close your tailgate. So next you're going to locate the actuator, and that's what it looks like. You're going to be really careful here because I almost did not see it. I wish they would put it in a separate bag. Is this tiny little retainer clip, because you're going to need that. And all you're going to do now is you're going to notice this end has a clip. Okay, this little piece here, we call that the clip. This is the female end. So I'm going to plug the female end onto here, and then I'll show you what this is going to look like, but it's going to wind up looking like that. Okay, but again, be really careful. That was in the bag. In fact, it fell out. I didn't even notice that it was in there. And again, here's your actuator. So we're going to go up and hook up the actuator now and plug everything in. Make sure the harness is nice and tight. Again, here is my female connector that we're going to plug in, and then we'll check back in. So put together, this is what it looks like. Again, you're going to make sure this is secure, which it is. Definitely check it out. The clip goes into this hole over here, and then you're going to make sure that you take the actuator, and you're going to open it to the full position. That is the full position, okay? And that's what it's going to look like when it's put together. And now we're going to go ahead and working on getting it assembled and in place. All right, so hopefully I can, capture this. So when you put this piece in, you're just going to get it in here. You're going to see this piece, or the notch in here. You can see the notch, okay? Goes right in here. There's the notch, okay? This piece up here goes on top, okay? And then you're gonna put your 10mm bolt, okay, back into this hole right here. So again, you're gonna make sure this piece is on top. You're gonna make sure you have the groove in here, and then you're going to put the 10mm bolt back into the hole that you originally took out, okay? And it says here to set it to with a torque wrench. I do not have a torque wrench. Okay, here it says 49 inches or foot-pounds. I don't have one. It was pretty semi-tight, so I'm going to put it back in there. Semi-tight, but I don't have a torque wrench, so hoping that's not going to make a difference. But again, one piece in the groove, and now I'm going to go ahead and put the 10mm bolt back into place. But that's what it should look like. All right, so I have the bolt in. I haven't completely torqued it down yet because number one, just make sure my boot was actually off a little bit, so I made sure it was secure. But you can see here, as I move this back and forth, and I have not put the retaining clip on yet. This definitely moves, as it should. So I think so far we're good on that end. I'm now gonna go ahead and tighten up that 10mm bolt here, okay, but it is in place. I made sure I'm there, and again, just by testing this and going back and forth, it definitely is working as it is supposed to. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to go ahead and locate that retainer nut again, which I did put to the side so I didn't lose it. That's what it looks like, and then we're going to go ahead and put that into after I tighten this up. All right, so here is the retainer pin installed, and all I did was push down. First of all, it goes with the raised surface towards you, okay, facing outwards. All right, and then all you're gonna simply do is push around. I just took my fingers, pushed all the way around, made sure it's secure. And then what I did is I took my Torx, or my 10mm socket, I put it over the top, and I just kind of worked it to make sure it was down. And then I took even another smaller socket that I had. Where did I do with it? Okay, and just went over the top of it as well and kind of worked it around. And you're going to want to make sure that when you feel it, that of course these little clips are all the way around the little ball. And then moving it back and forth, it works exactly as it's supposed to. It is secure. And we are ready to move on to the next step, which is simply now going to be installing some more ties just to put these cables together, and then we'll be done with this section. So the actuator is installed, and the last thing you're going to do now is put in 1, 2, 3, 4 of the zip ties, and make sure you cut them. Obviously be careful cutting them, throw out the excess, but now this is what the final piece looks like. All right, as it's attached in here. And again, the bolt, I did secure that 10mm bolt pretty tightly. Again, I don't have a torque wrench. Make sure this is pushed all the way over this ball again, and we can test this, and this definitely moves back and forth as it is supposed to. And now we are going to move on to the interior. So here we are at the passenger side. This is where you're going to hook up the harness, the plug and play, which we're going to get into in a second. It's going to be behind here. So of course I'm going to remove my mats. We're going to take off of this panel. We're going to go through here, and then we will go ahead and start on the installation of the interior. The first thing we're going to start doing is removing the scuff plate. So guys, no tools required here. I just lift it up with my fingers. All right, here's the scuff plate. I started here, just worked my hand along. The piece comes right up. All right, and this is what it looks like. All right, with the scuff plate, I'm just gonna put this to the side. All right, and now we're going to move on to the front plate. Okay, but again, this is what it looks like with the scuff plate off. Remember, don't take the staples out. We don't need to do that, so please leave those in place. We'll go over that later on, but this is what it looks like with the scuff plate off. So guys, it's going to be a little bit dark down here. I'll do the best that I can. So we're down here again by the plate. You're going to look for a nut, which is right up here. You don't need any tools for this. You can actually just remove it by hand. You're going to make sure you save this, because you're going to need it for later on. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and remove this section. Again, there's the nut. It's right up here. Again, it comes off by hand. You don't need any tools, and now we can go ahead and remove this. All right, so guys, I'm going to give this a whirl. I did put the camera down and just see if you can see this. I have never removed this before, so I apologize if I kind of mess it up, but it says there's 2 clips. I'm just pushing my hand and I'm pulling out. And let's see what happens here. All right, let's go up a little bit. There's one. I can feel the other. Hopefully. Slide my hand back here a little bit. And again, I don't want to break this since I've never removed this before. All right, that's kind of what I'm up against. All right, and again, yeah, it says there's 2 clips. So I got the bottom one. Now I got to work at the top one. Just pushing my back hand here. Let's see here. That's off. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so that piece is off. All right, thankfully not scratched or broken. I'm gonna put this one to the side. Okay, and now we can see we have access to our plug. All right, so this is where we're going to go ahead and go next. And now what we're going to do is we're going to lift up the carpet, and we're going to remove the grommet that is underneath. Okay, so that's what we're going to do next. But again, here's your control panel where we're going to plug and play and see what's here. Excuse my hand. All right, so literally, I think the way this is going to work, you're just going to take your hand. Again, I apologize holding the camera. You're going to fold the carpet back. All right, this is going to pull up. Again, do not remove the staples. Okay, carpet folds back, and then underneath here is where we're going to locate. Okay, yep, there it is, perfect. All right, now that we have this up, sorry, trying to get a free hand. Okay, this is where we're now going to remove. You can see So I'm going to put the phone down and stop for a second, but we're going to go ahead and remove that. And that's called the vehicle body grommet, okay? And it says to discard it, but I'm not going to discard it. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to get that out next, but this is what it looks like, and that's where the piece is. All right, so this is what the grommet looks like, and it is kind of amazing sometimes to think, at least it amazes me. And then you can literally see the ground, okay? So that is all that is separating you from the road, but that's what the grommet looks like. Again, it's right underneath there. I'm going to hold on to it. It says discard it, but we will move on to our next thing. All right, so guys, impossible, I know, to hold the camera and do this at the same time. So when I'm looking at this piece now, again, you're looking at the control panel. I've got all the pieces off. I've got the grommet out. What you're going to do now is locate and unplug connector MJ1. It says 18P blue from the right-hand cowl side trim. It's the bottom one, okay? So you're going to see two of them here. Don't unplug anything else. You're going to unplug this bottom one. Okay, so there's a little tab in here. You're gonna push the tab in. All right, give it a second. Again, I'm actually outside of the truck. All right, this is a kind of a tough angle, but let me push this tab in again. All right, there we go. And now the piece comes out. So this is what it looks like unplugged. Again, this is the one that is connector MJ1. So if you're looking, again, this is on a 2020 Tundra Crewmax. It is the bottom pin. So make sure you don't unplug the top one, because that's not going to help you out. Okay. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in. By the way, here is our wire harness. Hopefully you can now see in the camera. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug this piece in now. Okay, which you'll see here. Okay, we have this basically like T adapter, if you want to call it. This is what it looks like. And of course, this piece is going to plug in, and the other one's going to go back to here. All right, so this is what it's going to look like. Then we're going to start to get this, of course, underneath. They give you this grommet. Okay, that's what the grommet looks like. And they say the key thing here is that it is pointing in the 4 o'clock position relative to the front of the vehicle. So once I get in there, I'll go ahead and try to take a photo or a video of that. But right now, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to get everything plugged in. Okay, we're going to make sure everything, of course, is tight. We're not going to zip tie anything or do anything like that right now. But we're just going to go ahead and make sure this all fits. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in my white piece first, the connecting piece, which goes here. Okay, and you can tell it's definitely clipped and it's snug. Okay, and then we're going to take the piece that we undid, of course, from here, and now we're going to plug it in here. I want to make sure I'm matched up the right way. Thankfully, you can only do this one way. You can't screw it up, which is nice, especially for people like me. Okay, so there's our connecting cable. All right, again, make sure they're all secure and all tight. I now have my wire harness, and it goes without saying, we're going to start at this end. Okay, let me get this here, which looks like this. We're going to feed this through the hole in the floor. Okay, you can see here, this is the female end, and we're going to chain this all the way through and then go ahead and get the grommet put into place. Okay, so again, I'm going to route this through that opening hole that's in the floor, which is going to be right down here, this whole cable. All right, and then we'll go ahead and I'll try to show you, and we're going to go ahead and put this grommet again in, and we're going to put it, it says here, at the 4 o'clock position. And of course, we're going to want to make sure that it is tight and secure to keep everything nice and waterproof. So I'm going to go ahead and do that next. All right, guys, so that's what it looks like. My tab is right here, which is 4 o'clock relative to the front of the vehicle, 3, 4, 5, and that would be 6. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and you'll feel that it's definitely seated. You know, you play around a little, but you'll definitely feel it's seated. Okay, this did pop up, so I'll pop this back, and then of course next we're going to go ahead and tape this along the line. All right, but that's what it looks like when it's fed through. And again, you can see the tab, or it's hard to see, but it's right here. It is at the 4 o'clock position, so basically the wire is facing back towards the tailgate, so it kind of makes sense. But that's what it looks like when it's in. Okay, just give you a quick idea. So guys, what I found for right now, I actually found it a little bit easier just to disconnect the harness for now. And all you're going to do is you're going to take, they give you these 2 pieces of really, really sticky tape. You're going to run this cable along just like that, and you're going to put the tape over it. okay, like that. And that's what's going to keep it secure. Then I'm going to go ahead and plug everything back in and then go from there. But I just want to show you, I found it easier to actually unplug it for now, and then I'll plug it back in because I didn't want the cable to be twisted. And then I'll get it plugged in and then go from there. But that's where the pieces of tape are going to go. So that's what it looks like with the tape secure. I'm going to go ahead and plug my pieces back in. Okay, but here's the tape. It keeps it all nice and neat. I'm going to plug everything, put the carpet back, put the clip back in, put everything back here, and then we'll move along to underneath the vehicle. So I just want to show you what I got it to look like. I ended up using only 2 zip ties. I looped it, okay, and I put one here and one here. You want to make sure, of course, you don't do it to anything with the airbag. Of course, don't put it to any bare wires, don't put it to anything else. So again, I kind of to loop around kind of neat. Again, I have the one clip here, the one zip tie, and my second zip tie is here. So it all kind of fits nice and neatly here. All right, but again, I found it easier to unplug, plug it back in, loop it around. I just have 2 of them in there, and now we're gonna go ahead and put everything back together. So everything fit back perfectly into place. Okay, remember your retaining screw goes up here. It just gets hand tightened. Okay, so it came out perfect. Everything snapped back in perfect, and we are all good to go. And now we're gonna start underneath with the wire harness. All right, so guys, I'm gonna do my best down here. My biggest issue is I'm about 6'2", 270. I actually had to remove one of the steps to get underneath here. So anyway, if I can show this to you, if I can find this. Okay, so there's the grommet. Again, hard to hold the phone, but anyway, there is the grommet from the ground. Okay, so I ran the wire. I'm running it right now. I haven't attached any cables yet, but that is where it comes out of. Okay, I'm gonna run it along the frame here. And behind here, I don't know if I'll be able to see with the phone. I'll show you. I can't see. All right, you're gonna run it with the wire harness, and you're gonna go all the way to the back. So I'm gonna take my time. I don't have a lot of room underneath here, but basically you can see there's the wire harness. I'm gonna zip tie and take my time. You wanna make sure, of course, you do not attach it to the brake lines. Okay, and I'm gonna go just slowly work my way back, all the way back to there, and just keep going along here. And see how it goes. Again, for me, this is a very, very tight fit, but I finally made it underneath a little bit, but I got a long way to go. But again, this is where the cable is going to go with the zip ties. So I will see how I do and just slowly take my time, but that's where I'm going to attach them, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so I finally got the cable back here. I'm not gonna lie to you, it sucked, all right? But anyway, it's done. So I got it plugged in here. I got my last view SIP strips. Here is the connector plugged in. Again, remember, that's where I ran it through. And again, it runs along the entire harness. I've got it all in there. Now, just a note, this is again in 2020. I'll try to show you. I did not have to remove the heat shield. Now, the instructions I have say for, 2019 on. So maybe you have to, but I did not have to. For the 2020 Tundra, so the heat shield that's there, it says removed it. I did not have to remove it, thank gosh. All right, because again, this is a really tight fit under here, and again, with a gravel driveway, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was not a fun job. About 25 minutes to a half an hour, but I got it again all snaked along. It's all secure, and what I'm gonna do now is go reattach the battery and then give this thing a whirl and keep my fingers crossed and see what happens. So the moment of truth, and I promise you I did not try this before I hit record. All right, so I've got my FOB. I reconnected quickly. I'm sure you guys know that, but your battery. So I reconnected the negative. All right. Let me go back here, try my FOB. Let's see what happens. First of all, let me try to lock. I heard something. I heard it move. Ooh, it's locked. And now, 2. And it is unlocked. So this is beautiful. So just to show you how it works here, I hope. Let's lock it. There's the piston twice, and there it is to unlock it. Success. So guys, I hope this helped. I'm gonna reinstall this panel, and that is it. For the instructions, I performed everything, the function. It says something about here installing the short pin fuse. Anyway, I don't know. I didn't do that. I'm not sure what that even is about. But anyway, it says something about dealer install, skip to 11. I don't know. But anyway, reverse, guys, everything is back in order. Again, just to give you an idea, there's the spec sheet. But I hope that hopefully helped you guys out a little bit. For those of you, I mean, this really, in all honesty, looking back, this should just be a standard feature. Why Toyota doesn't include this on a truck like this is absolutely insane. But again, the biggest obstacles I ran into, that's because it's me. I did have to remove my running board over here. I'm just going to put it back on, but I could not fit underneath the truck. So that's a pain in the ass. Other than that, like I said, it was pretty easy. Guys, again, I recorded this, so it took a little bit longer. I'm going to say install time, give yourself 2 to 3 hours. Yes, I know some of you guys can do it in 45 minutes. Great. If you have a lift, even better. I don't have a lift. So again, my biggest challenge was getting under there. And again, that's because I'm just a large person at about 6'2", 275. So it's a little bit difficult. It's a tight squeeze, but I got it done. For those of you guys who have a lift, this is an easy job. Where if your buddy's got a lift, oh my God, go get the lift and get it done. But again, guys, I hope this helps. Really happy with this, and hopefully this lasts a long time. I'm going to add an extra little lube to this lock, but again, pretty cool lock and unlock. So that's pretty awesome. This is going to make life so much easier, especially if you guys that have the covers on like I do, and you're always trying to fumble with this key, which is just ridiculous. And again, why this is not a standard feature, I don't know. That's it, guys. Good luck. Any questions, put them in the comments below. Any suggestions, I hope this helped you guys out. Be well, ride safe.